Alrighty, y'all, this is my 94 RM125. Today I am going to be taking off the cover plate to inspect the clutch because there's a lot of play there. And also when you pull the clutch, it still lurches forward. So I'm guessing the basket's grooved. But hopefully today I will show you how to fix that. First things first is we're going to want to drain the oil. It's a 17mm bolt. These stands are really handy because they got a hole in them. Next, you're going to want to remove the Kickstarter, or sorry, the clutch cable. Super easy. Mine was a 10mm, but I didn't get a new bolt for it. I'm going to put that back on just so nothing gets in it. But these case bolts, I believe, are an 8. Yeah, they're an 8mm. So just take all of them. Make sure you keep track of it. I got a cardboard box to keep track of them because they are different lengths and you don't want to mix them up. And a little side note before I continue, make sure you break them off in a crisscross pattern, just so you don't bend shit, because the case is aluminum, so. Inside there looks pretty good. So someone's definitely been in here before. It doesn't look too bad, but they do have mismatched bolts, which makes me a little suspicious. But the basket does look a little grooved. Not too bad. I won't know until I actually get it off. These, I believe, are also 8mm. They're spring bolts, so yeah, these you don't have to keep track of where you put them. However, they do make holders, so these won't spin, so the clutch won't spin while you're doing that. If you don't have one of those, like I don't, just pop her into gear. She won't spin no more. Also, a side note, break these off in a crisscross as well. So I got it out. Be careful. There's more than you expect of them. But make sure it's always friction, steel, and so on. Just leave that here. That's not our concern. As long as they look good. Those look pretty good. They have decent life still left in them. But in here, in here's what we're worried about. See that's all the grooves that we're talking about in the basket. There's definitely been worse, but there's definitely been better. But I don't have another one of these washers, so I'm gonna try and reuse it. But you're gonna want to take that out. Sorry for the background noise, by the way, but take that out, and this will come out. The basket will come out. Oh, yeah, you are in gear. Yeah, you can spin it and fucking yeah. But anyways, you take that nut out and this basket should pop out with everything. And a little tip I just discovered is that turns when you're trying to get the nut off. So I found that if you just shove a hammer in there so the tire can't turn, it'll keep it all straight. So let me get that off and I'll join you guys in a second. Also before that, that crush washer, well, yeah, whatever. It does look reused. However, it's not the biggest deal. I'm gonna see if I have one here, but I'm gonna just try and reuse it. All I did was grab a little pocket screwdriver and punch it so I can get my socket over it. I believe it's a 25, which is roughly 1 1/8. Still some play, I might try and go smaller, but you know. So after you get the nut and the washer off, oh, sorry guys, you're gonna wanna take this, and this will slide right out. Hopefully, you don't have to persuade it too much. And then you're left with the clutch basket, which also slides right out. So we had a slight problem, so I don't want to take off the outer case because there's this little lip here. You shouldn't have to, but I'm guessing it's because my clutch basket is so worn that you got to take the outer case off to get this off. I'm not doing that because I don't want to drain the coolant, take off the kickstarter or whatever. So what I'm gonna do, not the best, but I'm gonna hit it with a file with the rag here to catch most of the metal shavings. Granted, you know, it is what it is. And then I'm gonna hit it with some cleaner, some brake cleaner probably, and get it all squared away. I kind of forgot to film this, but I got this all put back together. I'll put it back in neutral. There we go. And I got the lock ring washer back on. I just ended up using a little pry bar to get it. I don't see anything else going. These are as flat as I can get them. I am gonna just order a new one and just end up taking off the inner case to get the clutch basket out, but that's a little bit down the road. I just want to fucking ride. There's a little bit of gunk, sorry guys. But I cleaned everything up with some brake cleaner. Just make sure when you're taking this off and putting it back on, they're all in the same order. So I'm gonna get some gloves and then we'll get to that. So now these bolts can be a royal pain in the ass to get back in. So my recommendation to you is get yourself an 8mm nut driver, so you can put some force behind it and turn it. Using a socket kind of like that's a little tricky. And the bolt likes to go back into the socket if you're using a deep one like I am. But we got it. 8mm nut driver. So then once you get all of them started, that's when you can come back in with your wrench and just fucking go to town. But make sure, don't over tighten them. I don't remember the torque spec on these. I will look it up and I will actually torque these to spec like you're supposed to. But until then I will get these all snug and yeah. So the torque spec is 7 pound-feet. So we're gonna go to 8 because I am using an extension. And I might need to put her in gear. I actually changed my mind. I'm gonna clean up this bolt a little bit, just because threads look a bit nasty, you know. But see how much better that looks. It's kind of hard to see, it's a bit dark out here, but how much better threads look. Yeah. Alright, so now we can start putting the case back on. Make sure you check your gasket too. Make sure it's not cracked or anything. Mine looks pretty aight. And also, this little stud that's in here, if you have the same style shifter or clutch that I do, you're gonna wanna match up the grooves on that to the grooves on that. Go. Couple taps for good measure. Then we can bust out our 8mm again and start putting in bolts. These ones you also want to do in a crisscross pattern, just so the gasket seals properly. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. I'm just running out of things to say at this point. Because this is all fairly simple from here on out. It's really just, you know, assembly. You know, I really should buy an electric ratchet. This would make this so much easier. Cool. I think that's all fine and dandy, if you know what I mean. So next thing's next. You're gonna want to get your clutch cable and put her back on. See, the entire reason I'm doing this is because I thought my clutch cable was bad. So I replaced my clutch cable. Then what I did is I got it to drive. Sorry, I have to put a lot of tension on this hoe. And we'll see how that plays. You can always adjust it more if needed. Put your old bitch ass in there. Now this one, of mine at least, is a 10mm. I think I already said this. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I bought this thing on fucking Tuesday. It's Friday. I haven't even had this shit for a fucking week yet. We'll see. We'll see if she needs to be adjusted. Where did my 10mm wrench go? She is. And then swap this down. Out for this down. I might have to adjust my clutch a little bit, but I will do that later. However, the next one, I just took off the foot brake here. I don't have the spring that's supposed to go behind it, because I don't really give a shit. Correction, that is not it. Remember to fill your oil, kids. Don't mind my extendo filter, or my extendo funnel. It's the only one that I have that'll fit that hole. That's what she said. I'm just using a Lucas Oil 10 weight 40. These things aren't too picky on what oil you use in the transmission. You can use 10 weight 15 or 15 weight 40, whatever. This thing, it takes 700 milliliters. So there's 800, so we're gonna do it until there's 100 lead in here. Let's check her. Almost. $200, 100 milliliters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bam. Right on the motherfucking money. I got time to left to her, you know, top her off. Then, I'm gonna take a funnel out. Put that on there. Make sure it ain't on too tight. Oh, I just dripped on my shoes. Whoops. That's exactly, oh, what I wanted to check was, and make sure that I put the drain bolt on tight enough, because last thing I want is all this oil, yeah, that's on there pretty tight, so all this oil to come wasting away. So I'll put some of these. Recranker.